Angel Batista really chose La Obsession over enjoying his La Pension, and it resulted in tragedy beyond La Comprehension. And all I could ask myself after watching this gut-wrenching scene in Dexter Resurrection was why? And more importantly, how could Batista be so incredibly stupid to pass away the way that he did? Batista, he just went straight for the double leg after Dexter, a former lifelong friend who would never hurt him, freed him while totally ignoring the creepy guy with a gun that had him kidnapped 5 minutes earlier. And why even warn Prater to begin with? If you believe someone is in danger because of the Bay Harbor Butcher, a serial killer known for killing other killers, wouldn't you suspect the guy to be bad news? Then it hit me. This is all from our perspective as the viewers. We have the complete picture of every moment in the entire series. We know exactly what Dexter thinks at all times through his inner monologues, and we know that his relationship with the people close to him were and are genuine. But from Batista's point of view, the story of Dexter Morgan looks a lot different. Dexter isn't some misunderstood anti-hero only targeting the guilty, he's quite literally the fucking boogeyman. So in this video we're gonna go through Dexter Resurrection scene by scene, but this time limited only to Batista's knowledge and what he believed to be true. And by the end of it, it will become very understandable why he chose to jump Dexter instead of Prater. More than a decade after Dexter and Deborah's memorial, Batista gets a call from Iron Lake's chief of police, Angela Bishop. She tells him Dexter is still alive, arrested for murder, and that she suspects him of being the Bay Harbor Butcher. Batista's memories of Maria LaGuerta's accusations against Dexter come crashing back, and for the first time he begins to fear that she might have been right, so he packs his bags and heads to Iron Lake. On his arrival, Batista learns the shocking news. Dexter killed a police officer, escaped, got shot by Chief Bishop and is now in a coma, cleared of all charges by the very same Chief Bishop who just a day earlier was convinced he was the Bay Harbor Butcher and shot him. Batista's alarm bells go off. Logan's death is ruled self-defense, but he remembers the last time Dexter killed someone in a police station in self-defense, the brain surgeon. Maybe Dexter provoked Logan just like before. Then Batista hears whispers about a killer who had been active in Iron Lake for decades, Kurt Caldwell, who supposedly just skipped town, which makes it clear to Batista that he became a victim of the Bay Harbor Butcher. At this moment, Batista's image of Dexter shatters. Not only is he sure that Dexter is the Bay Harbor Butcher, but now with Logan dead, Batista realizes that Dexter's evil has no limits. And for the first time, he truly begins to suspect that the Dexter was behind the deaths of Dogs and LaGuerta. 10 weeks later, Dexter wakes up from his coma, and when Batista visits, he's overwhelmed. Once they were inseparable best friends who'd been through so much, but now all he sees is the monster who killed Dogs and LaGuerta, and the guilt of defending Dexter back then eats away at him. How could Dexter put him in that position? Did Dexter ever truly care, or was it all part of his mask? Batista's goal becomes clear. He has to bring his old friend to justice. So he decides to play along, acting happy to see him while struggling to hide his resentment. But Batista isn't like Dexter. He can't help but press him with questions about the Bay Harbor Butcher, and that slip is his first mistake. Dexter senses Batista's true intentions and dips. If there were any doubts about Dexter's guilt from Batista, they are now gone. And this pushes him to retire from the force, but he doesn't tell anyone the reason why. Because even though Batista tries to put on this tough facade, I think he's actually scared to death of Dexter. From his perspective, everyone who ever accused Dexter of being the Bay Harbor Butcher got murdered by him. Batista knows one thing for sure though: if he's going to survive this and finally stop Dexter, he has to work smart and discreetly. When Batista tracks Harrison down, he learns two things. Harrison hadn't seen his dad since Miami until just a few months ago, and he truly believes Dexter died 10 weeks ago. To Batista, this proves Dexter is not just a monster who killed 3 cops, he's also abandoned his son, twice. And this is where Batista's obsession takes a darker turn. He exploits Harrison's ignorance, pressing him for details about Dexter and his Bay Harbor Butcher theory. In that moment, Batista compromises his own moral code, crossing a line he never thought he would, all in his pursuit of the beast. And that betrayal of himself only fuels his hatred for Dexter, much like how Deborah felt in the beginning of season 8.
Because he made me compromise everything about myself that I care about. And I hate you for it.
Then Batista learns that a guest at the Empire Hotel was found murdered and chopped into 9 pieces, eerily similar to the Bay Harbor Butcher's MO. Disgust turns into horror. Could the once innocent Harrison have been manipulated into continuing his father's twisted legacy? Now, we don't know exactly how much LaGuerta told Batista about her theory, but what if she told him her suspicions that Deborah was covering for Dexter? If so, Batista would see a clear pattern. First, Dexter corrupted Deborah's innocence, and now he's corrupted his own son. From our perspective, we know Dexter isn't a pure monster. He struggles and he tries to be good. But from the outside, through Batista's eyes, Dexter Morgan looks nothing short of despicable. Then, when Ryan Foster's watch is found among Lady Vengeance's trophies, Batista isn't fooled. He updates Wallace and Oliva on his theory, and though it sounds far-fetched, they agree to bring him along to visit her in prison. He's so close now. If she recognizes Dexter's face, it proves that Batista is onto something. But when Mia commits suicide just before questioning, Batista is certain that Dexter was involved. He can't explain how, but with Dexter, he knows there's always a way. To Batista, Dexter is capable of pretty much anything, even staging a prison hit as a suicide, and that terrifies him. Later, after tracking down Blessing, Batista ends up getting a car ride from Dexter. From our perspective, Dexter's warning not to keep digging is a way to protect himself, Harrison, and Batista, knowing that crossing Leon Prater could spiral out of control. But from Batista's point of view, this is no warning. It's a threat clear as day. His old friend is looking him dead in the eyes and casually promising to kill him. Dexter's true self is revealed. Then Batista manages to find Dexter's kill room using the AirPods he planted in his car, and now he's so close, finally about to catch his old friend red-handed. But Dexter slips away, freeing his victim and disappearing. Still, Batista now has what he sees as undeniable proof, a full plastic-covered kill room. But to Wallace and Oliva, it proves absolutely nothing, and they look at him like he's lost his mind. When he later asks for their help again, they shut him down, pointing out that he's no longer with Miami Metro and reminding him how much LaGuerta's death still seems to haunt him. Once more, they look at him like he's lost it. And it's a déjà vu. Batista remembers how insane Dexter once made LaGuerta look, painting her as the grieving partner in denial about Dokes. And now it's his turn. The crazy ex-husband, blinded by loss, desperate for someone to blame. And that only fuels his anger and his obsession. When leaving the station, Batista recognizes Leon Prater on a gala poster to be the same guy he saw interacting with Dexter earlier. Batista, only knowing the public side of Prater, believes him to be a good guy who donates his riches to the local police and orphanages. Batista's anger clouds his judgment, and he doesn't stop to ask himself if Prater fits Dexter's usual victim profile. Instead, he bends the facts to fit his narrative. Dexter must be targeting Prater, maybe for crossing him, maybe for suspecting him, or maybe just for the fun of it. He storms into Prater's mansion, trying to warn Leon, only to wake up strapped to the same table Brian Moser once died on, surrounded by serial killer trophies and memorabilia. Leon Prater was in fact not the good guy Batista assumed. When Dexter enters the vault, Batista finally hears the truth straight from him. Dexter is the Bay Harbor Butcher. For Batista, it's like reliving the last moments of Dokes and LaGuerta. Betrayal, anger, and a twisted sense of relief for being right all along. And this is why, instead of going for Prater, Batista lunges at Dexter. He doesn't care about survival anymore. His only goal is to make Dexter pay, even if it costs him his life. Deep down, he knows that if he fails, Prater will still finish the job. And in his final breaths, he makes sure Dexter knows how much he despises him. It's a tragic choice, He still has other people in his life worth living for, like his sister, but his pursuit of justice became a pursuit of revenge, and he who seeks revenge dig two graves. I must admit that I thought that the writers made Batista a master detective in some scenes, and then a complete reckless idiot in others, depending on what was the most convenient at that specific time. But now, after viewing everything exclusively from Angel Batista's point of view, it actually makes sense. And to be clear, this is all based on my thoughts and opinions. This can really be viewed 100 different ways. Let me know in the comments what you thought about Batista's seemingly irrational actions towards the end. Down in the comments, okay? Let's go. Bye bye.